Hello students, today we are going to start the fourth part for our unit, that is the magnetic effects of electric current. In the first three parts we have completed our first two chapters. First chapter was the magnetic effects of current. Second chapter in we have discussed about the force on the charge, and in the third chapter we are going to make the discussion on the force on the current. Now means in the last chapter we have dealt with the charged particle inside the magnetic field. Now we are going to consider a current carrying element that is placed inside the magnetic field, and we have to calculate the force on this current carrying conductor. Now for that, let us suppose we have our first article is the force on current carrying conductor. Force on current carrying conductor that is placed inside the magnetic field. We have to calculate the force on the current carrying conductor that is placed inside the magnetic field. For that, let us suppose we have a conductor. This is the conductor that is placed inside the magnetic field. Let us suppose I am going to draw the coordinate system, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Now let us suppose magnetic field B is applied along the y-axis. Magnetic field B is acting along the y-axis, and let us suppose the electron is going to move along the negative axis. The electron is moving along the negative x-axis with drift velocity Vd. Vd is the drift velocity of the electron. As we have already calculated the relationship between the current and the drift velocity, that is given by I is equal to NA E Vd. This relation we have calculated in unit number 3. Chapter number 1, that is the relation between the current and drift velocity, that is given by I is equal to NAEVD. Now next one is the, if L is the length of this conductor, if L is the length of the conductor, multiply by L on both sides. Multiply by L on both sides, where L is the length of the conductor. From here you will get IL, that is equal to NAELVD. Now what about the direction? We always talk about the maximum times conventional current, and the conventional current is directed in the opposite direction to the actual movement of the electrons. So the current is travelling along the x-axis, you can consider here, or the current is travelling in the opposite direction to the drift velocity, or the drift velocity is in the opposite direction to the current. So I can write here as the IL, that is equal to minus NALEVD. Negative sign, why does it appear here? The negative sign shows that this current carrying element or the direction of the current is opposite from the drift velocity. Name it equation number 2. Now next come to the, what about the force? Let us suppose small f is representing the force experienced by the one electron placed inside the magnetic field. We have discussed in last chapter that when a charged particle is placed inside the magnetic field, it experiences a force, and that force is called the magnetic Lorentz force. So the force experienced by one electron, that will be minus E. Force is given by Q. We have done, that is the Q of V cross B. Now Q, charge on the electron, is the minus E, and velocity we are going to represent with the Vd cross B. This is the force experienced by one electron. Now if capital N is the total number of electrons, then the force experienced by the whole conductor, that will be equal to N into small f, or N into minus of E Vd cross This is the net force experienced by this current carrying conductor that is placed inside the magnetic field. Now, if small l is the number of electrons per unit volume, number of electrons per unit volume, in that case capital N can be written as small n into total volume, that is the A into L, where A is the area of cross section of this conductor and L is the length of the conductor. Put the value of the N here, name it equation number 3. From here you will get F is equal to N is the NaL into minus E Vd cross B. From here NaL we are going to adjust with the Vd. From here you will get minus NaLe Vd cross B. Now from the equation number 2, minus NaLe Vd, that is given by IL. So force F is equal to IL cross B. This is the force experienced by the current carrying conductor carrying the current I having a length L that is placed inside the magnetic field. Now next one is the magnitude of the force. The magnitude of the force is given by ILB sin theta. ILB sin theta, and F will be maximum when theta is 90 degree. Means when the magnetic field is acting perpendicular to the direction of the current, in that case the force experienced by this current carrying conductor will be maximum. Now next one is the minimum. When it will be minimum? When theta is 0 or the 180 degree, or you can say that when the magnetic field is acting parallel or anti-parallel to the current carrying direction of the current, in that case the F will be 0 or minimum when theta is 0 degree or 180 degree. Next, the force will be also minimum if the velocity of the conductor is 0. In that case means if the conductor is at rest inside the magnetic field, it will experience 0 force. Now next is the direction of this force. The direction of the force is calculated by applying the Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule is used to find the direction of the force experienced by this current carrying conductor placed inside the magnetic field. Clear? Now next one is the, we have to calculate the force between the two parallel current carrying conductors. Here we have made a discussion on the single current carrying conductor. Next we have the two straight current carrying conductors carrying current. These are placed parallel and we have to calculate the force between them. Now first, next one is the force between two parallel straight current carrying conductors. Current carrying conductors. Now let us suppose we have the two conductors such that the length of both conductor is equal, and from the first conductor current is flowing I1, from the second conductor current is flowing I2. Let us suppose R is the distance of the separation, or name it the conductor X1 Y1 and this is the conductor X2 Y2. We have these two conductors and we have to calculate the force between them. Now firstly I am going to calculate the force experienced by the conductor, that is the X2 Y2 due to the conductor X1 Y1. Now due to conductor X1 Y1, here will be the magnetic field at a distance R from this conductor, and we have calculated in the last video the magnetic field due to the straight current carrying conductor, and that is given by, let us suppose B1 is the magnetic field due to current carrying conductor, that is the X1 Y1. So B1 is given by mu naught by 4 pi 2I1 by R. Name it equation number 1. Now in this magnetic field we have placed the current carrying conductor, that is the I2. We have placed this current carrying conductor inside the magnetic field. Now firstly we should calculate the direction of the magnetic field. The current is flowing in the upward direction. If I am going to use the right hand thumb rule to find the direction of the magnetic field, fingers are going to curl like this. Means in this case, this chalk is representing the straight current carrying conductor. Current is flowing upward. So the fingers are curling like this. So the magnetic field lines are anti-clockwise, and at this point the tangent is going to be inward. So the magnetic field is perpendicular to the board of the paper, or the angle between the current I2 and magnetic field B1, that is the 90 degree. So the force is given by the force, that is I am going to write F21. The force experienced by the conductor 2 due to conductor 1, that will be equal to B1 into I2 sin 90. Sin 90 will be 0. So F21, that is equal to mu naught by 4 pi 2 I1 by R into I2, or F21 is equal to mu naught by 4 pi 2 I1 I2 upon R. This is the force experienced by this current carrying conductor X2 Y2, that is due to the current carrying conductor, that is X1 Y1. Next we have to find the direction of this force F21. Now the current is flowing in the upward direction and the magnetic field is inward, and I have already tell you we can calculate the direction of the force by using the Fleming's left hand rule. I am going to use the left hand rule. Now in this case the magnetic field is inward. This forefinger represents the direction of the magnetic field. Second finger give the direction of the current, and the thumb, in which direction the thumb is going to point, that give the direction of the force. Now in this case the field is inward, current is upward, and my thumb is going towards the left hand side. So in this case the force F21 is acting towards the left hand side, like this. Similarly you can calculate the force experienced by the conductor, that is X1 Y1 due to the conductor X2 Y2. Now for that let us suppose V2 is the magnetic field due to conductor X2 Y2, and V2 is given by V2 is equal to mu naught by 4 pi 2 I2 by R. Name it equation number 3. Now F12, it is the force experienced by the conductor 1 due to the conductor 2, that is given by V2 into I1, that is F21 mu naught by 4 pi 2 I1 I2 divided by R. Now what about the direction? This is the current carrying conductor X2 Y2. Now current carrying conductor X2 Y2, the current is flowing in the upward direction. I am going to use the right hand rule. Now again fingers are going to curl in the anti-clockwise direction, and at this point magnetic field will be outward. If you are going to draw a three-dimensional diagram, the magnetic field will be outward. The magnetic field is acting vertical to the or perpendicular to the plane of board, but it is acting in the outward direction. Now magnetic field is outward, current is upward. What about the direction of the force here? Again we are going to use the Fleming's left hand rule. For that I am going to use like this. I am going to make the use like this. The field is outward, current is upward, and the thumb is going in this direction. So this is the direction of the F12. This is the direction of the F12. So these forces are acting towards each other. Equal and opposite forces are acting there. So from here you can see that the force, that is the force of attraction there. When the current is flowing in the same direction, these are going to attract each other. And if you are going to reverse the direction of the current, then the force will be repulsive in nature. Clear? Now this is all about the force between between the two current carrying conductors, those are placed inside the magnetic field. Now let's come to we have to calculate the force experienced by current carrying rectangular coil placed inside the magnetic field. Next is we have to calculate the force experienced by the rectangular current carrying loop placed inside the magnetic field. Next is the force on current carrying loop in magnetic field. Let us suppose this is any rectangular loop. This is the rectangular loop. I think it is perfect now. A rectangular loop A, B, C, D. Name it as the A, B, C, D. And the current is flowing like this. DA. This is current I is flowing this loop. And let us suppose magnetic field is acting parallel to the plane of the loop. Magnetic field B is applied. Now next let us suppose the normal drawn to this particular coil or the loop makes an angle theta with the direction of magnetic field. With the direction of the magnetic field. Now we have to calculate the force or when a current carrying conductor is placed experienced inside the magnetic field, loop is placed, we have to find what will be there. Sorry, there will be the torque experienced by the current carrying loop placed inside the magnetic field. Now to find the torque, I am going to find the force experienced by the each arm. Firstly, I am going to calculate the force acting on the arm DA. Force on arm DA. Name it as the F1. F1, we have calculated the formula that is given by IL cross B. Means I. Now L is the DA. DA cross B. Now theta is the angle between the normal drawn to this plane of coil and the direction of the magnetic field. Now what about the angle this much? The angle between the, what about the angle this? Angle between the magnetic field and IDA. Clearly it is visible. The angle will be 90 degree plus theta, or you can calculate from here also. If it is not very clear, you can calculate from here also. This is the coil and this is the magnetic field. We have to calculate this angle. It will be 90 degree plus theta. From here, F1 will be IDA. Let us please name it as the B, IB, that is the breadth of the rectangular loop. B sine of 90 plus theta. And sine 90 plus theta is equal to cos theta. From here we will get F1 is equal to IBD cos theta. Now what is the direction of this force F1? You can calculate. The force is acting vertically upward. The force is acting vertically upward. Next I am going to calculate the force acting on this arm, that is the BC. Again the normal drawn to this. Again normal drawn to this makes an angle theta with the plane of the coil. Now F2 is given by I BC vector cross B vector I BC. BC is the B sine, here will be 90 minus theta. From here you will get F2 is equal to IBB cos theta. How I calculated it is the 90 degree minus theta. Now I have mentioned that the normal drawn to this, if I am going to draw the normal and here is the magnetic field, this angle is the theta. Now I am going to calculate the angle between the IBC and magnetic field B, and obviously it will be 90 degree minus theta from here. So F2 is equal to IBB sin F2 is equal to IBB cos theta. Now the F1 and F2 are equal and opposite. One is acting vertically upward and the second is acting vertically downward. So the equal and opposite forces are acting on the arm AD and that is the BC. So these are going to cancel each other. Now next, what about the forces acting on the arm, that is the AB and DC. Now force, let us suppose F3 is acting on the arm AB. AB cross B. Now what is the angle between this? It is clearly shown here, it is a 90 degree. So F3 will be equal to ILB sin 90 degree, or F3 is equal to ILB. Now what about the direction of this force F3? Now again we are going to use the Fleming's left hand rule. This is the left hand rule. I am going to apply this. Current is vertically upward, field is towards the right hand side, the thumb is pointing outward. Means in this case the F3 force is acting perpendicular to the plane of board and outward. Next, what about the arm DC? Now at DC F4, let us suppose force is acting. Again it will be ILB sin 90 degree, or F4 is equal to ILB. Now what about the direction of this force? To calculate the direction of this force, the field and this much. Current is in the upward direction now. So the thumb is pointing perpendicular to the plane of board and inward. So in this case, this is the F4 force. Now the F3 and F4 are equal and opposite, but their line of action is different. And due to these forces, this current carrying loop will experience a torque. This current carrying loop will experience torque, and torque is given by either force multiplied by the perpendicular distance between them. Either force into perpendicular distance between them. Okay, now we have to calculate the torque. To find the torque, I am going to draw a diagram again. To find the torque. Now, let us suppose this is the arm, that is the AD. On the AD arm, there are the two forces acting. One is the outward and one is the inward. These are the two forces. Now to find the force, we have to, to find the torque, we should know the perpendicular distance between the forces. Now if I am going to draw from here, the perpendicular distance will be this much. If I am going to name it as the point K, the perpendicular distance will be KD. Now this angle is theta and this is equal to the B, that is the breadth of the loop. Now to find the torque, we are going to use the formula. Now for that, we should know the value of the KD. From this diagram, KD is given by, from this diagram, KD will be equal to B sin theta. KD is equal to B sin. KD is equal to B sin theta. So torque is equal to ILB into B sin theta, or torque is equal to I into LB into B sin theta. This is the area of the coil, IAB sin theta. Now torque is equal to IA can be written as M, that is the magnetic dipole moment, or torque is equal to M cross B. This is the expression for experienced by the rectangular loop, that is current carrying loop placed inside the magnetic field. Now if I am talking about the, here I have mentioned the angle between the normal to the plane of coil and the direction of the magnetic field. Now if alpha is the angle between magnetic field B and plane of coil, in that case the torque will be written as mv sine of 90 degree minus alpha, or torque will be equal to mv. So whenever you are going to attempt this question or numerical related to this question, you should understand which angle is given. The angle between the normal and magnetic field, or the plane of coil and the magnetic field. So this is all about the current carrying loop placed inside the magnetic field. In the next video we will do about the moving coil galvanometer, and this concept will become the principle of the moving coil galvanometer. Thank you.